What's up, everyone? It's Cody with Money Investing. So here, live for market open. Maybe we'll do this live stream for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. We'll let a few more people join in. Alex, what's going on here first? Yes, you are. So we'll let a few more people join in. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me and see the screen without any issues. So let me know in the live chat if everything's working good. I am good. Thank you so much for Alex for asking. How are you? I hope you're doing well and everyone's excited for another strong week. Nolos, welcome. Key Pauline, welcome on board. What's going on? What's up? Everybody's joining in, so that's awesome. So the market's pushing higher. There's a lot of our stocks that we covered are actually higher. Corsair Gaming has been part of our growth portfolio. You'll notice it's up over 28%. Earlier I checked, it was up over 8%. Then I checked, it was up over 15%, and now it's up over 28%. Absolutely incredible breakout to the upside. Like this has been part of our growth portfolio for since February. I mean, we've been buying this thing since, back in February when it was selling off. We kind of found a really strong support at close to like $30. Santiago, what's up? Thank you so much for joining in. But just look at this breakout for Corsair Gaming, right? 28% is absolutely incredible. And I think it caught wind from Wall Street Bets, and I think that's what's causing this move to the upside, because I spent like a good 15-20 minutes trying to find a catalyst or something that really resulted in this move to the upside, and I could not find anything. So yeah, Nola says Corsair Gaming, which been watching that, it's absolutely crazy. I agree. It's just insane move to the upside. $41. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how far this rally continues and where that momentum is going to. But I didn't really. I mean, did it have like a lot of short interest? Not that I'm aware of. Like I didn't see Corsair Gaming having a lot of short interest on it. This right here again. Let's take a look at some of the price targets. So $50, 54% upside. We had 3 ratings. Well, actually, we had more than 3 ratings. Now, we had 2 buy ratings, but we had a lot of analysts covering this stock with plenty of buy ratings and price targets well over $45, $50 per share. But let's take a look at Wall Street Journal and get a good feel for where that short interest was as of, I think, May 28th is when they're going to report that number. So let's take a look. CRSR. So, all right, 18%. Okay, so it's not that bad. 18%, and change from last month is 9%. Shares sold short, 5.76 million, right? So current float, public float, is 31 million, which is why I wanted to cover yesterday's video. If you guys remember that video. So Nola says, think it's the second mentioned stock on Wall Street Bets right now. That's incredible. Yeah, let me see if I can find that another piece of the source that we look at. So Wall Street Bets mentions. All right, so this is the one that we have looked at in the past. The website is swaggystocks.com. So let's take a look at the ones that are actually being mentioned the most. So Corsair, the number 1 stock right now, over 1,000 mentions. Then we have SPY, we've got CLNE, we got UWMC, Workhorse, BlackBerry, Clover Health, AMC. We don't have Pubmatic. So Pubmatic is actually the one that I covered yesterday. So Pubmatic, 8 mentions. So there's not really much going on here for Pubmatic. But Pubmatic is the one that we covered yesterday. And to give you guys some perspective here, you'll notice that right now Corsair has 31 million public float, right? 31 million shares are being traded in the public market. Yet, the short interest is at 18% of the float. Now, if you were to take a look at Pubmatic, PUBM, this is a stock that I covered in my yesterday's video, and you'll notice that the current float is even smaller. There's only less than 7 million shares. That's the public float. And check out the short interest, over 55% of the float. That's why I wanted to go over this stock, because if stocks like Corsair Gaming can actually go up just on this mention that we had of over 1,000 mentions on Wall Street Bets, and it's up, what is it, 26% right now, trading past over $41, and only on 18% short interest float. think about what could happen to PubMatic, which is also up, by the way, pre-market. It's up a little bit over 3.8%, just trading shy of $34. So these momentum trades are absolutely like aggressive. Like these can move up so fast, so quickly. It's just incredible. I mean, this was a breakout that I wasn't even expecting for Corsair. So Bitcoin back up to 40,000. Yes, I was watching that. So I know that Elon Musk also mentioned, once the renewable energy part is taken care of, it's more sustainable for Bitcoin, then they're gonna jump back over and accept Bitcoin as a transaction for Tesla. So I think that's what made it go back up to almost shy of $40,000. All right, so hey, can you take a quick look at the short interest on AGC? Yeah, so Nola says PubMatic spiked up earlier. It's flat at the moment. Never heard of it till your video. Yeah, I was watching it, and it's funny because I took a couple swing trades on this in the past. So like you'll notice that we took one swing trade. I think it was like a long time ago, back in February, we took a swing trade on this, and this was also a potential short interest spike once we saw 72% gain there, and it also jumped on earnings. And after that, I mean, this entire sell-off is coming in because of the accelerated short interest that we're seeing, and also the insiders lockup period expired on June 7th. So, we took another swing trade here. So if you guys are again part of our channel, part of our Discord and Patreon, we took another swing trade for about 32% here. But this is a stock that I'm actually considering maybe like accumulating more shares of, because it could have a spike pretty soon, like on a short squeeze, if those mentions actually increase on Wall Street Bets. But one thing I'll mention is that this stock doesn't have any options, which is kind of frustrating because I wanted to get some options on this too, but looks like we're just gonna have to settle for regular shares. Yes, so Mike just mentioned this. PubMatic does not have any options trading, so no gamma squeeze. Yeah, so that's what I was looking at too. I was looking into the options chain, but there was none. So, but nonetheless, we're gonna have to settle for regular shares. Your vids are amazing. Appreciate your hard work. Thank you so much, Prophet. I really appreciate that. So shout out to you. Timur, thanks and I appreciate it. Shout out to you as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Let's take a look at Mara. So Mara was another trade that we took. It's up a little bit over 7.5% right now. So it had some time, and it's of course coming back up as Bitcoin prices are coming back up. So Bitcoin just trading shy of 40,000, which is why we are up for Mara as well, a little bit over 7.5%, way past our target at close to $27. We're now even trading as $28.60. But this wasn't a swing trade for myself, even though I mentioned that you can take it either as a swing trade or as a long term, because this is more of a long term play for myself. So I've been accumulating more and more shares right at that price level at close to $22, $21, and I will consistently be buying more because I want to establish a really bigger position under $30. So even if it does go up over 7%, 8%, I'll be there to buy more shares, because Bitcoin inherently I do see it running past over 40,000, making its new all-time highs well past over $50,000 and $60,000. Do you cover crypto miners? Yes. So I just looked at Mara right now. Yes. So we're just covering that. But yes. So Mara is a long-term position for myself. We'll be building a bigger position in this moving forward. So, so what's going on with Apple? Debt news, is that bad or should I sell? Let's take a look at Apple and let's what's going on. So NIO is up a little bit over 61 basis points right now. We're actually pre-market, we're fighting that same exact resistance at 46.30. So that's the level that we talked about in our previous videos. So 46.30, that's the level, previous resistance that we got rejected at. And even on the daily chart, you guys will notice that 46.30 was the exact same resistance, right? Coming in from March 12th. This is the exact level where we got rejected, and on Friday we almost tested 46.26. We got rejected, and pre-market we are also testing highs of 46.30, and we are struggling to actually break out over that level. So today is going to be an interesting day for NIO too, and we'll see if we actually do see any type of a dip buying opportunity. There's going to be two support levels to watch for NIO. The first one is actually going to be sitting over here, close to $43. Previous resistance acting as a new support here, back tested support all the way as low as $40, both of which are going to be in my opinion some really good buying opportunities. I know that this actually got away from a lot of people, and the fact that they wanted to add more shares, and this just kept rallying higher. So if you do see any type of a retest, I know that I'll personally be adding more shares at $40, but $43 is going to be more of a near-term support as well. All right, so let's take a look at Apple and let's see what's going on with them. So Apple slightly up over 24 basis points, still struggling at $128. Let's see if there's any news on the stock. So All right, that's nothing. Do you have the source? If you can share that source, I'll go over that right now, Greg. If you can share that with us. But Apple tightens legal request rules after Justice Department targets lawmakers. So this was on Friday, on June 12th. Good day, Caddy. What do you think about STEM stocks? So Adam, I'll definitely go over STEM in just a second. Just want to finish and cover Apple here real quick. And then we'll go over STEM. And then we'll also break down Palantir. And we'll see if we can break down BBY. It's going to be Best Buy, right? Yeah. So this right here is going to be the one-day chart for the select sector indices. And you'll notice that energy and financials. Actually, energy is actually the one that's only doing well because oil prices are doing well. So you'll notice that Brent and crude, they're both up a little bit over 1% each, and we're trading all the way past $73 per barrel when it comes to Brent oil and crude. And then this right here is WTI crude, which is up over $71.66 per barrel also. So as oil prices go up, you know, you can expect those energy companies, Exxon, Chevron, they're probably already up pre-market as well. So that's up, with the yields also pushing higher a little bit. And of course, we saw, you know, the reverse repo, a lot of basic institutional buying for the bonds, the 10-year yields, which is why we saw the yields come down as prices were pushing higher. And technology is slightly flat on the day. Healthcare is flat. Consumer staples, materials, industrials, and financials are also flat on the day, pretty much. All right, so let's take a look at Apple, see if we can find any news here. So I'm not sure if there's any debt news on Apple, but yeah, if you can give me some more context, I'll definitely go over that. But for the most part, I mean, there's going to be resistance for Apple at close to, I should say, $128, right around alongside this horizontal red line. Previous support, you know, we've gotten rejected at that level a couple of times. We're just fighting in that range between $123 and $128. All right, let's take a look at Palantir here really quickly. So Palantir is still struggling to break out over $25.50 or $25, I should say. So you'll notice that we have just been kind of back and forth in between. So this previous resistance is now starting to act as a support at $24. And of course, the resistance is going to stay put at 25.50s, 25.60 level. Previous resistance coming in from April 13th. So this time around, this is actually a good change in direction or a trend reversal for Palantir. Only because you'll notice that we were originally making some lower highs and some lower lows, and this right here has been quite a bit of a rally for Palantir stock, and now we're seeing a trend reversal, meaning that we're trading above our moving averages. So there's the 21 EMA, the 50 EMA, and now we're pushing higher as well. So this could be a successful trend reversal for us to start making some higher highs and some higher lows, but 25.50 is going to be the next resistance level to watch, and $24 is going to be the next support level in the near term. And again, we could be forming some bull flags too. Like if I were to highlight this bull flag over here, yes, Gino, we'll go over Corsair Gaming once again. Just give me 1 second. We went over this earlier in the video, so if you are just joining in, you can go back on the live stream and watch the Corsair segment. Or we can just cover that in just a second once again. But this right here could also be some type of a bull flag forming for Palantir. So you'll notice that the prior trend was up. Now we're starting to trade sideways, and we could see a potential breakout to the upside as well, and a breakout over 25.50s, $25.60 as well. So, you know, that's the resistance. There's also going to be some overhead supply that Palantir needs to break out over in order for us to see some more upside in the future. All right, so Greg just shared the link here. Let me see if I can pull that up. All right, so look into Apple's debt. This actually came out on March 29th, so this is not a current article. This is an older article. What is it? April, May, June. So it's been about 3 months. According to Apple's most recent financial statements, as reported January 28, 2021, total debt $112 billion, $99 billion is long-term debt, $12 billion is current debt. Adjusting for $36 billion in cash and cash equivalents, the company has net debt of $76 billion. Um, is the cash and cash equivalents right for Apple? I don't feel like that's correct, because Apple most certainly does not have just about 36 billion in cash and cash equivalents. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry about that at all, because so 354 billion total assets. The debt ratio is at 0.32. I mean, if they're yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I wouldn't worry about this article just yet. I mean, this is an older article anyway, but I'll give it some more read. And I also don't think that they have the cash amount for Apple right. I mean, 36 billion. That doesn't sound right. I mean, the last time I checked Apple's earnings, quarterly earnings. Here, let me just pull that up. So investor relations. We're going to go over to Q2, fiscal year 2021, 10Q. And we're going to go over all the way down to financial statements. All right, so here we are. Okay, so that is right. So 38 billion, and they're comparing that with the total long-term debt, which is at total debt sits at 108 billion. So current part of that debt 52 billion. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about it, because most of the times they usually do roll over their debt, so they do finance more, or they refinance their loans and push it out even further, so that they can continue to kind of have that lower interest rate, so that they can leverage that debt into having another sort of reinvested back into the business, so to speak, for Apple. All right, so Bitcoin just broke 40,000. That's incredible. So just over 40,200. So Adam says, let's kick this week and have close look balance here today. All right, let's go over to CRSR once again. So that's going to be Corsair Gaming. And we are up over 27% right now, trading all the way to highs of 41.28. So we covered this earlier, and the main reason why this stock is up on heavy volume is because of Wall Street Bets, and of course that is the number one mentioned stock on the platform right now. And that's why it's pushing higher. And it's funny because the short interest is about 18%. The last time we checked right now, earlier in this video, is we checked at 18%. It was up over 9% from previous month. And I think the number of shares sold short are just over 6 million, or close to 6 million. And the total share count, or total public float, is about 33 million shares outstanding. So that's why we're seeing, I mean, if it catches wind on Wall Street Bets, you see what happens. It's up over 28%. Trading past over $41 per share. So absolutely incredible. So I was planning to add more of my Corsair position, only have 15 shares. Yeah, and it's a pretty small position for me too. Like, this is part of our growth portfolio. It has been for quite some time, and I think I just have about 100 shares of this stock. I should have bought more, but I only have about 100 shares of Corsair right now. All right, let's take a look at BBY. That's going to be Best Buy. So Best Buy will do some new technical analysis. I would not be surprised if we do get a breakdown for Best Buy stock, and the only reason I say that is because now the pattern is starting to look a little weak here. So we've got a really strong resistance at close to whatever this level is at 122. You'll notice that we've gone rejected not once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7 times. 7 times Best Buy is struggling to break out over this resistance at 122. And you'll notice that the RSI, again, is very neutral from where we are right now. Bit of a negative divergence, I should say. Not a huge divergence, but definitely, not moving up on stronger breath. And we're trading right at that 200 SMA. So breakdown below this level would certainly suggest that we have more room to the downside for Best Buy, considering that we are just struggling to break out over that resistance at 122. Now, if you do sell off, there are going to be some support levels that we can watch. there's going to be one at close to $110, all the way as low as, I should say, this level at close to $98.50 to $99 per share. Again, support here, and this is a level considering there's a double bottom support here as well, previous resistance. So those are the touch points for Best Buy that we have, validated several times in the past. But the pattern certainly looks weak in my opinion, so would not be surprised if you do get a breakdown here. So yeah, I can check. Are people still using BlackBerry to this day? I don't know if people are using BlackBerry. Greg, yes, I will let everybody know if I find something. If you are part of our Discord and our Patreon, of course, you'll have access to my new trades and swing trading opportunities. There's a few that are in play right now. So one of them, of course, if you guys are part of our Patreon Discord, APPS is one of them. So price target still sits at $77, but I still have a trailing stop on this, just in case we need to limit our downside and kind of lock in those gains that we currently have. So Digital Turbine is one of them. We have Coinbase as another one. And then another one that I posted earlier today was going to be on, forgot what it was, on our Discord. But yeah, I'll definitely post newer trades on there as well if you're part of it. So all right, let's take a look at OTS here and then BNGO. So we'll look at BNGO first for Alex. So BNGO should actually be on a different chart. It should be on this one. Let me see if I have the analysis. Alright, so BNGO, this right here is the breakdown for Bionanogenomics. And you'll notice that we are once again coming down, right? So this was the exact analysis that we are following for Bionanogenomics. And you'll notice that earlier the trend was down. It was making lower highs and lower lows. And then you'll notice that after this breakout, we had a successful trend reversal, right? So this was the complete analysis piece on BNGO. And you'll notice that we are exactly getting rejected at this resistance or close to that resistance, at close to 950. So what was the high on June 8th? It was $9.12. So not quite 950 yet, but we did break out, the RSI and the MACD. I don't have that on this chart. Let me add that. So you'll notice that the RSI over here became overbought, right? So that's going to be the relative strength index. You'll notice that we were getting a bit overbought here once we started making the move to the upside. And right now we're just seeing a bit of a pullback here. So what that means is we're seeing that consolidation and a validation of that previous resistance now potentially back to as a new support. So it's going to be at 750. Moving forward, again, depending on what your thesis is, whether this is a swing trade or a long-term investment. Long-term would also include fundamental analysis on the company. So make sure that you understand the risks, the revenue growth, the projections, their different products and services. If this is a long-term play, if this is a swing trade, you can easily set up a formulated plan where you kind of buy in with a stop loss right under 750 because that can be the previous resistance acting as a new support. If I bring out some of the moving averages, you'll notice that the 21 EMA and the 50 EMA are sitting perfectly together at close to 675. So that could also be some type of a support now that we're trading above those moving averages. But 950 is going to be the next resistance. So two support levels to watch for you, Alex, is going to be 750 all the way as low as 675. And resistance level to watch is going to be at close to 950 all the way as high as $12 and $13 per share moving forward. But the trend certainly looks in the favor of BNGO in terms of a bullish context, like making higher highs and higher lows. Of course, nothing goes up in a straight line, so we're seeing that a little bit of a breather for BNGO potentially before making the next leg up higher. All right, now let's take a look at AVXL. Yes, Corsair is up. We've covered this stock several times in the past. I will go over that just a second, once again, if you guys want me to. But 9% move to the upside. Absolutely incredible for this stock as well. But yeah, definitely getting a breakout over this resistance at close to $16. So you'll notice that 16 was some type of resistance here. So, we've gotten rejected once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And right now we are seeing that breakout over that level, certainly. Not sure what the catalyst is, but that is a really incredible move to the upside. So yeah, that level should now start acting as a support at $16. So if you do see any type of a pullback, I mean pre-market we are seeing a pullback, right? Or we did. You'll notice that it actually did come down to $16. So if I go over to the 30-minute chart, you'll notice that we did break out. We had a little bit of validation before pushing higher once again. So that would be the new support at close to 16 bucks. And resistance is, pretty much sky's the limit here, looks like. Last time we were trading at this level was back on February 4th, all the way as $28 per share. Would have to look into this more to get a good understanding of what this entire move was based off of. So 475%, whether this was a short squeeze, whether there was like an FDA approval or something like that. Yeah, because this is a biopharmaceutical company. So would not be surprised if there is like an FDA approval or something or news related to that that's driving it higher. But yeah, $16 would be the support level to watch moving forward. Yes, Michael, we can do AMD for sure. Randy, we did go over Corsair, so you guys can kind of go back on the live stream and watch that part and then jump over to the live session. But we went over Corsair Gaming. It had the most mentions on Wall Street bets and 18% short interest float. Public float is also very small, so just about 33 million shares outstanding or currently being traded in the free market. But yeah, I mean, this is straight out of Wall Street bets textbook. Squeeze is what we're seeing, up over 28%, up over $41 per share. All right, so let's take a look at AMD here. I don't know if it's up or down right now, so we're up slightly over 20 basis points, so not a huge move, but this is still in play right now this week. So $80 is support. We got both of those moving averages sitting perfectly there. So if I were to remove the trend lines, you'll notice that the 21 EMA, the 50 EMA perfectly validating that support consistently, and we've got the 200 SMA up top at $84 per share. Clear resistance, validated support here. We're just waiting to see which way it breaks out, whether we break out to the upside or if we have any room to the downside. But if we do get a breakout to the upside, there is going to be more follow through and continuation, which is why the risk reward in this trade is asymmetric, right? Meaning that we are only risking less than 2% for a potential gain of over 8% if you want to take a swing trade, but this is going to be a long-term play for myself. So regardless of what happens here, I will be buying more. So STEM, ticker symbol STEM, let's take a look at that one. So down about 33 basis points right now, pre-market. So yeah, we don't have much analysis other than the fact that I think we did some analysis on this during our live session. So lower highs being formed, we saw a breakdown below this level, traded all the way as low as $16 and up over 117%. So similar to what we looked at BNGO, the RSI became overbought. We had significant move to the upside. So this is just a stock taking a bit of a breather, potentially before making the next leg up higher. So now you'll notice that this previous resistance is now acting as a new support at close to $32. So again, previous resistance, we've gone rejected at this level a couple of times, now acting as a support. And the next resistance I would watch for this stock would be at close to $36. So right at that level. Again, previous resistance, we've had a couple times we validated that level, right? So resistance here. If you fast forward to now, that would be the next level to watch, and a level of breakout that STEM needs to basically break out over. Support at close to $29. All right, so let's take a we did cover Palantir. We've covered a lot of stocks. We've covered Palantir, we've covered Corsair, we've covered Apple, we've covered NIO, we've covered STEM, we've covered a lot of different AMD as well. So you guys can go back a little bit and check out the analysis piece. Let's take a look at BABA and where that's trading. So we're up slightly over 26 basis points. But this right here is the complete analysis, right? We're forming some type of a falling wedge. Lower highs and lower lows being formed, so the pattern looks really, really weak at the moment. So there's no clear signs of a trend reversal just yet, right? So there's just been a lot of weakness with the regulations, the scrutiny, and whatnot. So moving forward, if you want to be very aggressive on this play, if you want to start building out a position because fundamentals look strong to you, you believe that this company is undervalued, you can do that, but just remember that this can or could very well break down even further to lows of 194. Like 194, if it comes down to that level, is where I would seriously consider building out a bigger position in the stock, only because that would be like ridiculously undervalued. At that point you're talking about like deals of lifetimes, like, because this stock, even with if it retraces back up to 300, it's going to be a 57% jump. We're just talking in terms of risk versus reward, right? Relative basis. Of course, you can get 57% anywhere in the markets. Like right now with the mid cap, small cap, even on these short squeezes. I mean, Corsair is even up today 28% alone. But just on a relative basis, when it comes to risk reward and undervaluation, I think Alibaba would be one of the most undervalued companies in the markets. If it dips below 200, trades all the way down to 194, like $190 per share, like somewhere around those levels. So still no indication of a clear change in directions yet. So we're just gonna have to wait and see where the support level is, whether it's 210 or 194, and then a potential breakout over 224, and it needs to kind of regain back control over the moving averages. All right, let's take a look at NIO. Where is NIO trading? So up about 0.5%. We haven't looked at Tesla, so let's take a look at Tesla. It is up about 0.5% as well, so we're still consolidating sideways. Not really much movement going on for Tesla. Let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon is slightly up over 6 basis points, literally 33.49. We're like $1 shy from that resistance at 33.50 levels. So again, this is the resistance that Amazon has struggled at, not once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, possibly 5 times here, and this is the 6th time that we're testing this resistance at 33.50. All right, so Coin has an alert. Somebody just mentioned Coin, and there we go. We got an alert, Charles, for you. Let's take a look. So Coin is up almost 3% now. It's up over 3%. This is also a swing trade that we have on our Patreon that I posted last week. We have this currently in motion right now, so our price target is at 250. Updated everybody on Patreon as well, so where that trailing stop loss is going to be and what the profit target is going to be. So 217 is a support all the way as low as 208, and 250 is going to be a resistance moving forward for Coinbase. But yeah, so that right there is going to be the complete technical breakdown on Coin. Long term, I do believe that Coinbase has a lot of potential. So this right here is actually, so for everybody commenting about Corsair Gaming, I can go over this one more time. So this is going to be, Swaggy Stocks. This is something that this is like a website that tracks like the mentions found on Wall Street Bet's website. So you'll notice that Corsair has the most, like number 1 right now at close to over 1.2K, so like 1,200. All right, we'll go over C3AI Hunter in just a second. Seems like it's moving, but Corsair had the most mentions, which is why it's moving up as well. So AMC is up over $52 now, so we're up a little bit over 7% here. AI stock Hunter mentioned is up over 1%, so I wasn't sure why you were saying C3AI. Wow. But like it's just been consolidating sideways. Let's take a look at AMC. AMC, we also covered this over the weekend as a potential swing trade here, because we're seeing that breakout over the descending triangle, so the lower highs being formed. So that's going to be this lower highs and the horizontal support at close to $40. So this is kind of like a bullish pennant. So you'll notice that we had a prior trend up, so we were running up higher, and then we had a bullish pennant. I just want to make sure that my live stream didn't get cut off. Okay, there's just a blip. Hope it's fine now. Okay. I hope it's working, because I just seem like it's lagging a lot. Probably it's okay for you. Okay, perfect. Good. Yeah, I don't know why this keeps happening with the OBS Studio, but for AMC, this is a possible swing trade opportunity. Again, the risk reward is a little bit higher on this one. I mentioned that this is probably going to be the riskiest play on the list, only because of the volatility and of course the potential for short squeeze and whatnot. So the target is, the first resistance level is at $60, all the way as high as like beyond 77. That's the all-time high. And of course, with these short squeezes and these gamma squeezes, of course, when you tie that in with the retail momentum that we're seeing, sky is literally the limit for how high these things can go. But it also needs to come with heavy volume, right? So you'll notice that over the past several days, like coming in from June 2nd, we've been trading on declining volume, right? So the volumes is going down. What we really need to see is an increase in volume for us to have a successful breakout over this bullish pennant, for these targets to be achieved at close to over 70, 80, or even as high as like $95 to $100 per share. But remember that there is risk involved. So if you're already in this, what I do suggest is you move up your trailing stop loss, or you move it up to break even, or have a trailing stop loss. So as the stock price moves up, your trailing stop moves up with it. So you're limiting your downside while also locking in gains at the same time. So yeah, again, if you're not comfortable with the volatility, maybe you can have that higher margin for the trailing stop loss. Instead of 1%, you can choose 5%, depending on your sort of personal trading style or your strategies and whatever works best for you. All right, so all good. So let's talk about GME. Let's take a look at where that's trading. So GameStop up about 1.89%. Had a pretty significant pullback here of just about 34%, coming in from June 9th through now. I think they did some type of a share offering. So, all right, thoughts on MU 4P7 right now with 30% growth expected in the near term. And then that looks like a great prospect. I'll definitely take a look at that in just a second. So, all right, so we had GME, the video game retailer, shares closed down 27%. Their biggest one-day percentage loss in 11 weeks. Their drop came after GameStop said in a quarterly report that it may sell up to 5 million new shares, sparking concerns of a potential dilution for existing shareholders. That's the biggest, I should say, like that is the biggest challenge for potential bullish or long investors on a short squeeze, is that you get a dilution. And that's the only concern that I have with Pubmatic as well. It's going to be, again, ticker symbol PUBM, because this stock is, even though it has a very high short interest and a really small float, this company is actually authorized for a lot of shares. So authorized doesn't mean it's actually issued. It simply means that the board has authorized that number of shares, and they can potentially issue that in the market if they need to raise more capital. So we also broke it down in their quarterly report, and how they mentioned that if they want to acquire, if they want to do any type of acquisitions, they may sell more stock to raise capital, and that may lead to some type of a dilution for existing shareholders. So I think that's the biggest challenge when we're looking at these potential candidates for short squeezes, is how many shares are authorized, and what is the current float, what is the current short interest, and where does the board of directors sit when it comes to issuing more shares. So I think AMC has already addressed that, and they mentioned that in 2021 they're not going to be issuing any more shares. They're still going to get votes for new authorizations, but when it comes to issuing more shares, I think they've mentioned that they're not going to do that. I could be wrong, but as far as I've done the research, I think they mentioned that in 2021, this year, they're no longer going to issue more shares. At least not in the public market. I think they may sell it through like a private institution, and like we saw with Mudrake and stuff like that. But anyway, so MU is going to be Micron Technology. So all right, so the markets are open. Didn't even realize we were going on for that long. So the markets are open. So coin is breaking out over 232. For MU, I would watch at close to $74, $75 per share. It's also going to get aligned with that 200 simple moving average. That's going to be a very strong level of support to watch for Micron moving forward. I don't know what's that. I think that's construction going on outside. I do apologize for that. All right, so let's take a look at SPY and QQQs. So the SPY pretty much down a little bit over 2 basis points. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ here. And the Nasdaq is also flat on the day, down just about 1 basis points. Yeah, so we're seeing a little bit of a red already, and that's normal because remember this week we've got a lot of macro stuff coming out. So we've got the producer price index, we got the PPI inflation data coming out, we've got retail sales, we've got core retail sales, and we've got the FOMC meeting and the Federal Reserve's meeting as well. So I think those are going to be some really important things to watch, and the interest rate decision that they are going to have moving forward, because that's what's really going to affect the markets in the near term. And I've mentioned this before, and I mentioned this during our weekend video as well, that the S&P is trading at near all-time highs. So this is not the time to actually buy, like if you want to buy a S&P 500 index fund or some of the positions in it that are trading at near all-time highs. The risk reward is not in our favor only because it's trading at near all-time highs. So the downside here is a little bit higher than the upside. That's just my opinion here. And if we see an increase in volatility, if we see that spike once again, because you'll notice that the VIX is trading at literally near support levels, right? So we're trading at just over 16, 15 levels. It's up a little bit over 3%. So if it does spike over to 20, 25, 30 levels, that's what's going to drive the S&P lower, and of course the Nasdaq even lower as well. All right, so I've got a lot of alerts going on, you guys, right now. Let's take a look at what's going on. So Palantir, so pretty much flat. Let's take a look at Corsair Gaming, where it's trading. So it's up over 26, 27% right now, still holding up. Let's take a look at AMD, down about 60 basis points. So we are pulling back just at close to $80 a share. Let's take a look at Coinbase, up over 3% right now. Let's take a look at Tesla, pretty much flat on the day. And let's take a look at NIO, up over 73 basis points right now. Are we going to break out over 46.30 for NIO? What do you guys think? Are we breaking out over 46.30 for NIO? Let me know in the live chat. What do you guys think? So Square is up over 223. That's incredible. Yeah, so a lot of volatility for NIO. So high for the day. Look at that again. So high for the day, 46.24, 46.30. I don't think we're going to break out over that level. It's just too much resistance there, right? We tested that level right at the open, 46.24, got a rejection, and now we're pulling back pretty much flat on the day. We're about to go red for NIO. So Hunter Figo says yes to the moon. All right, let's take a look at XBI. So look at that jump on XBI, right? It's up almost 1%. This is also a swing trade that is currently in play right now for our Patreon members. So XBI, this is the price target at close to 140. We'll see if that actually does get hit. I'm waiting for a couple more days here to see if we actually get up that high. But if not, I'll probably be closing out of that position. So that's good. Let's take a look at Apple. So Apple pretty much flat on the day. Gotta get in that NIO for 30K ready. Yeah. Fighting that resistance there, right? Yeah, so 46.30 is the resistance that NIO is just fighting every single day, I feel like. Palantir flirting with 25. Let's take a look. Look at that. We're seeing that move to the upside. So again, that's the bull flag. And let's see if we can actually get that follow through and continuation past 25 and 25.60 levels. AVXL, let's take a look at that one. So look at that. 16% jump. Absolutely incredible. Yes. So I think we covered it over here. Yeah, so this is the support at $16, low for the day $16.70, and on the 30-minute chart or on the 5-minute chart. So you'll notice that we were consolidating sideways a lot, and then a huge candle to break us out to the upside. NIO will hit 44. Yeah, let's take a look at the 5-minute chart here, just to understand the price action. I mean, usually when we have seen these weaknesses for NIO stock over the last few days, I mean, it has reversed very handsomely, but we're also testing a resistance here. So Peloton's breaking out over 114. So Coinbase is now up over 4%, trading past over 233. Um, Again, I'm just gonna send a quick alert on our Discord. Yeah, just give me 1 second here. All right, so what else? So Tesla breaking past over 619. It's trading at 610. So we're up a little bit over 1.7%. Is NIO back up? So NIO is also back up 44 basis points. So we are pushing higher. Let's take a look at Airbnb for the long term. So I think Airbnb for the long term really depends on where their bookings sit, and you know, a lot of it would depend on the reopening of the economy. I think they've also done a lot of changes to their policies when it comes to, like, you know, doing parties or doing like different things that you can do with the houses that you are renting. But this right here is also starting to feel like a bull flag. So KMX is breaking out over 118. Let's take a quick look at that one. CarMax. This is also a swing trade. If you guys did get a chance to get in on this one. It's up another 1% today. The price target is at $122.70. So yeah, and this one also I mentioned over our weekend video that I will be looking at a couple more days similar to XBI, which is also moving up. Like, these are plays that are still short of our price target. They're still shy of our price target, that I would give like a few more days or a few more weeks for. Oh, look at that, NIO is breaking out over 46.38. So yeah, it's up a little bit over 1.5%. NIO always proves me wrong. Always proves me wrong in the sense, like, intraday, it would just like always, as soon as I would say it that NIO just try to break out over 46.30, it would immediately do that. Like, if I would think that it can't do that, it would do it, like, right away. It's happened so many times in the past. Like in the past, like, if you guys remember, I mentioned that, you know, this may be the high for the day, like right here at close to 45.68 for NIO, and boom, breaks out over the bull flag, trades all the way to highs of $46. So absolutely incredible. Now the real question is, are we going to see a breakout over this resistance consistently or not? Yes, I should say that NIO can't break out over $48 today. Like, it can't. It just can't do it. It's just, it's hard. I mean, there's so much resistance, so much supply there. It can't break out over, you know, $48 today. All right, so KMX, like I said, up just about 1%, 46.32. So what were we looking at? So we were looking at a different stock here. Let me just go back. Airbnb. So we're forming some type, I should say, a little bit of a consolidation pattern. Oh, is it? AMD is going down like a lot. Yeah, it's down about 1%. So again, $80 is going to be the support, kind of aligned with those moving averages. I'll keep that intact here. And we'll see if that level actually does act as a support, or if we actually end up breaking down underneath $79 per share, right? So 80 or 79.75 is going to be the level to watch. So APPS, another alert went off. So let's take a look. It's up another 2.5%. I'll put some updates on our Discord right after this one. Can't do it while live streaming. But yeah, I'll see if I can put some updates on our Discord here shortly. Yeah, it's kind of hard to actually be live and trade at the same time. All right, so let's take a look at XPEV. So XPeng up another 3%. This thing has been on a rocket ship. It's up from $23, 85% gain. That's incredible. The next resistance, which level should I put XPEV? So next resistance, Andy, would be at 46.20 levels. That's the next resistance level, and support I would watch is at 37. So you'll notice that, you know, this was the perfect validation. This is what I'm talking about with most stocks, right? They can't go up in a straight line, even though XPeng looks like it's been on a straight line here. It did come back down to validate that support before making the next leg up higher, right? So that's what we want to see. And the next resistance is going to be $46. Support is going to stay put at 37.64. All right, let's take a look at Palantir. Seems to be breaking out. So 25, we're still struggling at $25. Let's take a look at Apple. So Apple is, all All right, so I had an alert on Momo. I'm not sure what that is. All right, so it's breaking out over 2%. Interesting. I want to remember why I was looking into this stock. Anyway, but yeah, Apple were almost 2%. This could be a trend reversal here. Well, I'll do some more research on this. I think it's still like in CRSR tanking. Let's take a look. Wow, Apple were 18% only. So we're definitely seeing some profit taking here, and I feel like I should be trimming some too. But my price target is a little bit long term, you know. So I'm okay with just holding on to Corsair at the moment. But still, you know, 17% is quite a bit of a gain here. Definitely quite a bit. But you know, profit taking is what we're seeing intraday. It's no surprise that we trade all the way to highs of 42, and now we're seeing a bit of a profit taking here. So we are pulling back for Corsair. So NIO, yep, still struggling at close to 46.30 levels. So high for the day, 46.75. And we're pulling back a little bit on the 5-minute chart. So we kind of opened like that, like on Friday too. Like Friday was a really strong day for NIO. Just a super strong day in general, right? Just a lot of buying pressure kicked in for us to continue to push up higher. So do I know SGBX? I don't think I've done research on that one. SG blocks. Yeah, I don't think I know that one, and looks like the volume's too low. Just about 272,000 shares. I mean, it's almost impossible to look at these candles and make sense of it because, you know, the liquidity isn't really there, and it's also, you know, kind of like a penny stock. So I haven't looked into this stock, and you know, it kind of doesn't fit the criteria. I mean, I look at average volume at just over 1 million. So the average volume for this one is at 272,000. So it's like about a quarter of our way there. So if the volume picks up and the liquidity picks up, then definitely I'll make sure that I do some more research on this. But coin is pushing higher. Now up over 5%. Look at that. Getting that breakout successfully. What do you guys think? 250 target? Are we gonna get there or? Alright guys, I need to send a couple updates here. Just give me 1 second. Alright, let's take a quick look at some stocks here because I might have to end the live stream a little bit early today. So BDTX had a huge sell-off. It's interesting. Not sure why, but $28 all the way down to lows of $13. Black Diamond Therapeutics, 53% drop. Not really sure what happened there. Presents phase 1 safety preliminary efficacy data. Widens Q1 loss. This actually came out in May, so these are May headlines. Okay, so the stock hasn't even. Yeah, I don't know why. So this was after the earnings. Could have been a huge gap down, but. Right now, I'll have to do some more research on this because considering that this is a huge gap down here for this stock. So who asked this question? So Dorji, yeah, Dorji, I would have to double check on this one only because, and actually you're part of our Patreon, right? So we'll do this on our private live stream too. We'll cover this on our private live stream just to get some good understanding on the fundamentals and technicals and see what we can do. You know, based on this huge gap down and if there's any opportunity in the future, right? Because it's definitely trading at very oversold levels, and it's trading at near 52-week lows. All right, Square. What's going on? Up over 2%. So breaking out over 220, $225. Definitely breaking out over those moving averages. So yeah, I mean it's a strong uptrend here. It's definitely validating that 200 SMA. Didn't quite break down from this head and shoulder pattern, but pushing higher. And I think PayPal should be up too. Up just about 23 basis points. But PayPal has also had a strong uptrend, and so is Square, right? So Square definitely pushing higher. And the next resistance I would watch for this stock is going to be roughly at close to $243. So 243 kind of aligned with that double top resistance here is going to be the next level to watch moving forward for Square. Let's take a look at Tesla. So up over 2%, so that's good. Making some moves here. So let's take a look at what's down. Clover Health is down, so we are down roughly over 6% on that one. But AMD is down roughly 1% as far as I'm personally concerned. Nvidia slightly down, no surprises there. Caterpillar slightly flat on the day, and everything else is pretty much green. Apple up almost 1%. Amazon is up over 60 basis points. NIO up almost 2%. And so is Tesla, up over 2%. Shopify, Square, AMC is up over 7%. Corsair definitely pulling back intraday. Let's take a look at SPCE. For Tesla, there's not really much for us to go over other than like it's just trading sideways, consolidating. Next resistance at 650, and definitely we are forming some higher lows here. This is more of a long-term position for me, so I haven't taken any swing trades on this. So this is a long-term play. Price target well over $1,000 per share. $650 is going to be a resistance moving forward. So Michael is asking, what is happening with AMD? I don't know. There's a lot of weakness. I think the same thing happened with NIO, right? For several weeks, NIO was consistently just selling off despite having great earnings and new partnerships and expansion into Europe. And I feel like the market is not pricing in all the potential for AMD. I mean, that's just my strong opinion. I feel like AMD should be at least trading at over $110 per share. That's my price target by the end of this year. We'll see if that actually does come into fruition. But Mara almost at 31. Look at that. What a move to the upside, up over 15% here. I should definitely buy some more Mara stock. I mean, this is a long-term position for me, and I should definitely buy some. Definitely. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. I mean, I'm comfortable holding it for the long term because I know the intrinsic value is much stronger than the market is pricing in for today, and that's completely okay. That's not a problem for me. In fact, if it does come down to 74, I'm more than happy to just add more to my position. It's down just about 70 basis points, trading at just over $80. That's normal. That's a little bit of stabilization for the price, and that's exactly what we've seen for a lot of stocks like Tesla, NIO. Like they haven't performed quite as well as they did in 2020, only because of the macro environment that we're in. Supply and AMD getting hit harder because of the supply chain issues. Nvidia not so much because they announced a stock split and now the momentum is carrying them over. But AMD, I would give it some more time. And yes, I'm still bullish on AMD moving forward. All right, let's take a look at SPCE and what's going on with that one. Pretty much flat on the day, trading at just over $35. There is a resistance that it's trading at almost exactly at $35, so previous resistance. If we do get any type of a pullback, I'd watch all these moving averages perfectly aligned. The 21 EMA, the 50 EMA, so all of them sitting perfectly over here, all the way as low as $23. So that's going to be this level right here. So those moving averages, in my opinion, are going to be much stronger support at close to $30. And $35 is going to be a resistance to watch. All right, so CCIV is going to be on this chart. Yes, so CCIV has had a resistance at $27, if you guys remember it correctly, so $27.30. And right now we're pulling back once again to revalidate or backtest some of those support levels. So there's going to be one support at close to this level, exactly at $24. Previous resistance right here, potentially to start acting as a backtested support. But if we do see any type of a breakdown further, then we've got several support levels for CCIV. So the moving average is sitting roughly at $23, all the way as low as $21. That's going to be aligned with this previous support that is CCIV is also validated, right? So CCIV over here once, twice, and that right there is going to be the levels to watch. All right, now switching gears to NIO, we're going to be looking at the 5-minute chart and potentially even the 1-minute chart here. And you'll notice that we are seeing a bit of a symmetrical triangle, so to speak. So we're definitely, seeing some rejection here. So we need to break out over 46.60, I should say, for us to successfully change that trend to the upside and see some more continuation. So look at that. We're just peeking over. We're just like peeking over 46.30, right? To see if we can get that breakout and get that follow through eventually. So yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me just send something. Alright, locking means. Let's take a look at Caterpillar. So definitely coming down, setting up for a potential swing trade. It's down about 65 basis points. We'll kind of add this to our watch list. I mean, it is to our watch list, but I'll definitely set up some more alerts on this stock as well. So Corsair up 20+%. Is it back up over 20%? So it's up a little bit over 17.5% right now. So yeah, we were up over, I think, 28%. It's given up like 11% since pre-market here. We already know, I feel like Wednesday's decision from the Fed is going to be, we're keeping rates unchanged. We're not going to have any hikes till 2023. We're not going to taper back on the U.S. Treasuries and the debt and the mortgage-backed securities that we're buying. We're going to keep that intact at $120 billion. The only thing that I'm really concerned about is, or curious about, so to speak, is the inflation, right? What is their stance on inflation? And are they still in this transitory phase, and what their summary of economic projections are going to be like? Because moving forward, they're going to have to readjust how much they think the GDP is going to grow by, what their inflation expectations are in the future, and all that other things that are related to the macro environment, right? So that's what I'm really curious about in terms of asset purchases, tapering, and interest rates. We already know where their stance is. So done. All right, so which other stock are we going to be looking at? Looking for AMD to hold $79, $80. Yeah, so AMD has a support at close to $80. Corsair most certainly pulling back intraday. So look at that red candle. That's a lot of profit taking. People basically selling out or trimming their positions, taking profits, because Corsair's never really traded at these levels for a really long time, right? Since February. So we'll see. AMC's up over 6%. Square 3.5% here. Tesla, Shopify. Roll up a little bit. Let's take a look at DraftKings. So NIO is seeing that breakdown, right? Still struggling at that resistance at close to 46.30. So DraftKings, let's go to the daily chart. So DraftKings is fighting that resistance at close to $55. So that right there is going to be the level. We are pulling back. I would watch the moving averages, the 21 EMA at close to $51. Yes, Domingos, that's a great question. I do watch football or soccer, depending on where you're watching from. Who will win the Euro? I'm supporting Portugal. I'm just a huge Cristiano fan. So supporting Portugal in the Euros, and I think they have a game with Hungary. I think it's tomorrow or Wednesday, but I'll definitely be watching that. So $55 is a resistance for DraftKings, and then a support at close to $51. So what chart am I using, Gerald? This is the TradingView platform. This is the platform that I use. All the links are down in the description below. I am. Dave says support Italy. I mean, I just want it to be a really good Euro, because I feel like we waited way too long. I mean, having it delayed, it wasn't the best, but Let's go on Portuguese. It is tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. So I'll be watching that for sure. It's just the timing here. It was already bad with the markets, and now it's like the games are at 12:30 in the morning. They go until like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, but nonetheless, it's fine. So hey Kathy, it says your best value in the Patreon is sold out. Is there any way I could get into it? Yes, so it's gonna be it did sell out. We had very limited spots available. If there is significant interest, maybe I'll consider opening it back up. But if you can just send me an email, I will definitely consider it to see if we can open that back up. I'm gonna drop my email over here. If anybody wants to email me and take a look at that best value Patreon. So I'll replace that pinned message. So yeah, it's just my username, so castwrp@gmail.com. If you want to just email me, I'll see if I can open that back up. All right, so I would have to kind of end the live stream here, you guys. I do apologize because I have a little bit of trades to make and send some updates to our Patreon Discord members here. And then again, tomorrow and Wednesday is going to be a little bit more heavier sessions, only because we've got the FOMC meeting, we've got the PPI data, we've got the retail sales and the core retail sales as well. So today's session, just about an hour and 10 minutes. Just wanted to go over some different stocks. Not really much going on other than, some stocks are moving higher, other than the NASDAQ and the S&P are pretty much flat on the day. And this can be expected tomorrow as well as we go into Wednesday and the Federal Reserve's interest rate decision. We got the FOMC meeting notes, potentially even learn more about inflation and what their stance is. So thank you so much. You'll find me in the Discord if you're a part of it, and I'll be more engaged there. So thank you so much for joining in. Again, drop me an email at castwrp@gmail.com if you want to get access to our Patreon. Right now it is sold off. So Domingo says, let's go Ronaldo. Yes. Looking forward to Portugal's game tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining in. I hope you guys have a great day today. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Drop them down in the comments section below. As always, happy investing, and I will see you guys in the next live stream. Take care. Peace.